You got a little emotional up there.
I get emotional because, I mean, this has been my life. South High, I graduated in 1963, 58 years this year was a legacy of South High. And to be a part of creating a new legacy for the students, giving them an opportunity to not have to deal with the old and to focus on the new, it's heartwarming. It's something that we talked about when I was a student here, but it never followed through. And there were circumstances that led to us not following through because the powers to be was not as open as we are today. So yes, I am. But I am happy. I am not sad. I am happy. My tears are tears of joy. And the thing that I liked most is the students kept us on task. Whenever we got off task, they would say, I thought we're supposed to be talking about a new name, not those streets, not those buildings. We're supposed to be talking about a new name to replace Rebel for South High. And that kept us going.
Patricia, what would you say to other alumni who wanted to keep the name?
I would say to them, think about it as my father oftentimes said to us, nothing gets old but clothing doesn't get old, the styles change. I would say to them, ask yourself, do you wear the same clothing today that you wore back when you were a student at South High? Change is important. Change should be embraced. Change is growth. And listen to the generation. My generation here at South High, for this change was stifled. I'll admit, I had a principal who said, no, we're not going to talk about it. So I would say embrace it. And you know what? During this process, I received some ugly phone calls. And for those who did not hang up, I said, listen to me. Look at this as an opportunity for the kids growing up today to be in a school, to be in a community, to be in an environment that is positive, where they don't have to think about things that's offensive to them. Everybody, you know, South High has this thing, rebels do it right. Well, the goal is to do things right, to make everybody feel positive and to respect them and their growth. I heard one student say, as I was walking over here, said, well, you can be whatever you want to be at South High. We're all important. So that's what I would say to them.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Principal Grumling, you want to talk to us?
I'm happy to, but I don't think I can top that.
You know, let me say this about Principal Grumling. Just like I met with Dr. Schaefer prior to, I met with her. And I asked her, what are you hoping out of this process? She said, I hope to build the staff and the students to higher capacity in terms of our diversity that exists on this campus. This is one of the great schools in Kern High School District, but it's going to be greater. And I want you to help me build that as we go through that process. And in working with those staff members who were on the committee, I was amazed at how much they appreciated when I had to say, well, you know, these are things that existed in the past. And that's why you are hearing the things that you are hearing. That's why we're making these changes. And they were so open. Like, okay, Fuchsia, you don't have to convince us anymore. We're going to go out and tell the story. I could have not had a better group of people to work with. And the principal being so open to me and the committee to get this job accomplished.
We could not have done this without Patricia Ward. She is, her credibility in having been a staff member, a student, a principal, and someone who has always never wavered in her support of this school. She was honored as in the first class of our Hall of Fame. She has never not given back to our school, no matter what our name was. She's always been a supporter for the students. That made this job so easy. Made it so easy for me. I'm an alumni too. I have a lot of negatives as well as positives here. We are not trying to take away the positives that people had when they went to school here. What we're trying to do is give every single person, student, staff, community member, a positive vibe about our school. We are going to be Spartans United, a place of unity, acceptance, and support. I just made that up. That was kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm passionate too about this school. I went here. I spent my first 10 years of teaching here, started my administrative here. This is my home. And a lot of people, it's their home.
It is.
And never wavered. This lady
Yes.
has never wavered. She's been the first one to volunteer on everything we've ever done. So,
Connie, two things: school colors and a lot of paint.
yes. We are keeping the Columbia blue and gray, adding black to that. Of course, white is in our uniforms always for home and away. We are already in process of changing all of the uniforms. Over the summer, we will be creating Spartans mural, changing the Rebel name. Some of our Rebels do it right. That has to change to be some other kind of behavioral expectation that our Tier 1 committee will be working on. It all has to be student and staff built and supported. And our staff is in.
The staff is in.
Is in.
They are ready for
it's
this.
good.
They're ready to help the students embrace it.
We have a lot of work to do. I'm glad you guys are here because
thank
you
you
could
so
see
much.
what a great school this is, and you saw the students come out on their own time and be here for this announcement. And I'm so happy because you never know.
Yeah. And so many of them participated in the surveys because we sent out surveys to find out with a list of the names that we had to find out how they felt about it. And they did not hesitate to tell us, and that helped us to narrow down because the list was long.